All right, guys, it's completed. It's awesome. It's big.
Any last words? Hell no. Let's go. Kristen was a little bit like, what the heck did you do? We had a lover's quarrel over this because we differ.
Blew a gasket.
The Bobcat blew up.
Woo! I feel good spinning. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We've been getting a lot of work done on our property. We have been working day and night. Maybe not so much night. You've been working nights. But we have been, if you haven't been watching for a little bit, let's catch you back up. We have been working, we have chickens if you didn't know that. We have been working with our front fence. We wanted to build a wall fence to make sure we knew how to use block wall, get practice. We don't have building skills of homes or anything like that, so we thought that would be a good jump off project to see if we got what it takes to build our own home. We got the fence started to build, and we had our trailer RV that we've been living in up here, but we had to move it down the property because we wanted to finish the other fence and we didn't want to trap ourselves in. That was a big ordeal, moving our RV trailer down the whole path. It was nerve-wracking. We have wet clay on this mountain and we slid a little bit, but we got it in place with a little bit of accidents. Then we got stuck down there with our truck because of the wet clay. It started raining a whole bunch. Who would have thought in the rainforest it would rain so much?
It rains 1 or 2 days a week, but as soon as we put the trailer down there, it rained every day for about 9 straight days. And then it's been raining 1 day on, 1 day off since then. So it got wet, and we said, time to get our driveway in. But for us to live at the bottom of the property, we needed to bring our cistern from up here down there. And let's see what Matt did. So my cistern was sitting right there, bringing shower water and dishes water into the house. So I knew I was gonna have to get that down the hill, and I couldn't get it over the top. And with all the rain we've been having, it kind of mucked out the well. So the well water was really dirty, but I had a full cistern of water. So what I did was I was able to knock this wall down and then slide the cistern over with some water in it. And then I was able to carry it down with the Bobcat, so I was able to save some of that fresh water and just have an overall great time because I wasn't really able to catch the rain yet. So we did that, and yeah, Kristen was a little bit like, what the heck did you do? You went mayhem, and I said, yeah, but not really, because this thing was pretty easy to knock down. It's not the strongest, it's kind of old, soggy block, so it came down pretty easy. I'd venture to say I could knock this thing down pretty easily with a sledgehammer. Knock the whole thing down in a day if I really had to get buck wild. All right, so just when I thought mercifully we were done with the driveway, a little bit of more rain came in and we were down here and it was getting kind of swampy, and I said, well, Kristen, what should we do? And she's like, I think we should extend, put another 100 feet on the driveway and make a little pad for the trailer, because then we can move the trailer on a pad of rock and have something that's not as muddy, something that's going to be more easy to organize and just nicer overall to live on, going to be better for everyone involved. So that's what we decided to do. Today we're going to get that last little bit of rock knocked out, get it nice and smooth, and get a final done and dusted permanent place for the trailer for once and for all.
Alright, as you guys could see, we didn't get that much work done. We just pulled the road out a little bit farther and we never got our pad done because the Bobcat, I know this is not what actually happened, but I want to say it blew a gasket.
The Bobcat blew up. No, there was spreading the rock out pretty light duty, I would say, for a machine, just picking up gravel, dropping it back, blading it. But this machine has some quirks, and the culprit this time was a hole in a coolant line, in a radiator line, radiator bypass, I believe, is something like that. So I had a hole in it, started to overheat, blew a bunch of coolant out the top, and the coolant for the Bobcats and the big diesels is not cheap. So I had to go get me a couple gallons of that. I think I got the parts, and I think I'm gonna be able to fix it. I think I'm done working with this machine. Obviously, I just wanna be able to get it up to the road so I can get it on the wrecker and then get it back
Returned
to where it came from. And we're gonna fight and argue on the phone over how much I still owe you. I wanna get it fixed so I can get it out of here so I can move on with my life. I'm happy, thankful that I had this Bobcat, but it was a blessing, as my dad would say, it was a blessing and a curse, because it got me about 75% of the way through on this job. So now I have a pretty big investment on gravel that's not 100% finished. So hopefully that holds up. And but yeah, the ROI on this particular machine was a terrible one. I had it for what's going to end up being 9 days, and I put 16, 17 hours on it total. So I didn't get to do a whole lot. So I do like one thing that was good for me having to endure this Bobcat is I did get to go to Bobcat Academy. I've spent as much time working on this thing as I have working on top of it. So that's been good. You know, I'm gonna have my own machine one day, so it's been kind of cool to see the inner workings. Pretty much the same deal as a sailboat diesel. These engines are engines, and these big clunkers you can usually put a wrench on. But this one's pretty ghetto rigged, like some of the stuff I used to do back in the day. It seems like this old hose had some leaking problems before, and like they put some sort of flex seal or something on it, and I went ahead and got the new one. It was only $9, so I'm gonna put a new one on there and hopefully get the couple gallons of coolant in it, and that should get her up the road and get her out of my hair. All right, so we're leaving the Bobcat up here at its final resting place before the tow truck comes, picks it up, and gets it out of here back to from whence it came. But you guys don't even know the half of it. I know I complained about this Bobcat and cried a whole bunch, and I do feel blessed that I had it and I was able to get some work done, but I had a lot more work done in my head. When I had the machine, I said, okay, I know how I can work, and I'll get a whole bunch done. And that did not come to fruition because, you know, the first thing was all the stalling that kept happening, and the solution to that was I just put the lap bar up and used it. It's not very safe, but I was just moving gravel. I wasn't doing anything crazy, so the lap bar didn't make too much of a difference. And then another day, like the next day after I finally was getting the thing moving, a tire went flat, and I took it to the shop, and it had like 9 patches in it already. So I got a couple more patches done in that, got it home, and that was tough because I don't have the tools, the breaker bars and the, you know, torque wrenches to work that size of a tire hub. And even getting the tires off that thing was pretty crazy. Luckily I had a jack, but I don't have the breaker bars, the torque wrenches, the socket sizes to deal with that sort of rim. So I had to go run out, buy that, come back, get the tire off, run it to the tire shop, get them to patch it, bring it back, put it back on. So I was losing like half a day at a time on that. So I finally get the tire fixed. Another day goes by, the other tire goes flat. I take that, same thing, bunch of crazy patches. So then I'm like, oh my goodness, I finally get the tires done. Then I'm running it, and the radiator hose bypass had the leak that we had to fix. So then I lose another day going to get the hose, bringing that back. So I lost easily, out of the 10 days that I've had this thing, 4 to 5 days of just not being able to use it. And it's so, you know, if those are the things that are right there visible, I can only imagine what it's like inside that engine. So I babied it, super low RPMs, driving about as slow as you can possibly go. So, you know, that machine really held me back, and it sucked. Did I even get everything? The lamp bar, the tires, the radiator coolant. There was something else. Oh, the diesel does leak. So it's another thing. I hate the leaky diesel, the obviously shot antifreeze all over the property with animals around. So I hate that. I have a ton of cleanup to do. So that machine buried me. That's all. That's it. That's all I'm going to leave on. So if you're going to ever get a machine, make sure you give it a good look over before you take it, because it'll make it hard on you. So since we moved down here and been housing the animals, we've been traveling a lot for the wedding plans and stuff like that. We've been keeping our cats in the maximum security chicken coop for most of the day. We let them out and put them up at night so that nothing bad happens to them. Because there are some dogs that run wild around here, so it's important to keep them safe. And then so the chickens have been bunking with the goats. I put up this shader and some bamboo twigs to cover them from the top so that we don't have another visit from Michael, the hawk, that comes down and tries to eat them. They're pretty big now, so I don't really foresee that being a problem, but you never know. Oh, they're fighting. You never know when a hawk's going to get uppity and go attack your chickens. But the problem with having the chickens with the goats, everything is great except for their food. Goats can't eat the chicken food because it's bad for them. It's bad for their rumen, and it makes them, like, it ferments a bad way and it makes them sick, can make them sick. And the chickens can eat the goat food, but it's not really good for them, and it kind of swells when it gets wet, so it really would fill up their crops, and it's not ideal. And when they're all eating together, you cannot keep the goats away from food. So I need a separate place to house the chickens so that I can feed them and they can have safety on their own spot, and they don't have to share room with the goats and cramp their style. Started building it a couple days ago, and I'm going to finish it up today so that we can hopefully get the chickens in there and introduce them to their new home. Alright, so I got my walls set up for the fencing, and I'm going to reinforce those with the wire, but I somehow in the move have misplaced my stapler, and it's Sunday, so I can't go get a new one. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take these old 1x that we got, the messed up ones if you remember our fence video. We got a bunch of these left over, so I'm going to use the 1x to make a quick little chicken house. And first things first, I'm going to make the box, and then I'm going to frame it in so that hopefully it looks, I hope the chickens accept it. You can just wear pee-pee like a mink coat. He's a good shoulder kitty. Alright, so now that I got my floor pretty well built, it was crash tested, he stomped the yard on it. So I got that done. Now I'm gonna build the legs and the walls. It's like the legs and the walls mixed. And then we're gonna be able to build the roof on that. and the floor base. Should go pretty quickly.
This is coming up nicely. Now you can probably see what we're working with here. This is obviously a slanted roof that Matt's making. This is his build, his plan. So it should work fine. What do you think?
Well, I think it'll work more than fine. It'll work beautifully.
So what's the next step? Putting on the roof?
Yep. Next step, I'm going to put down this plastic roof, and then if you think it'll look better, I could put wood panels on top if you think that's going to look more aesthetically pleasing, or we can just leave it plastic.
Whatever you want. This is your build. That is not for you, Crash. You see how it's a little too small for you?
Your time, buddy. Makes it easy on myself.
Crush loves it. He loves it. It's the next day, and since Matt destroyed our storage area a little bit, we decided to go ahead and move all of our equipment out of there, all of our tools. So we needed a quick, fast action place to keep them. We put them underneath that white tent thing, but it's not waterproof. It's not good.
She's trying to tell stories. We had a lover's quarrel over this because we differ when it comes to storage. For me, I'm like, let's just get it out of the rain. Who cares what it looks like? We're going to build a whole house.
I don't think I was telling a story.
Build the storage around
it.
And she has a differing motives for, she's like, I hate the junk, not having a perfect place, and then you got to wander around every time you build something and look for, where's my drill? Where's these particular nails? So
where's my stapler?
Where's my stapler? So she said, I'm getting you organized, boy, and we got to make it where it ain't an eyesore, because, you know, the white tarp, you know, looks a little crazy, and just throwing things here and there, being hodgepodge. She's tightening me up a little bit here, boys, and she scolded me.
For the better.
And she said, we're going to build something pretty to get you right. She said, you're going to be a husband soon. You know, you ain't just some old stinky fiance, so you got to get right.
Anyways, a long story short, we're going to build a shed. We bought a shed kit. It's not a kit. What is it? Just a shed. So we got to build it. Basically, there's instructions, and we're going to put it together. We're not doing a homemade build. We don't really have the time to be doing that. The first thing we'd probably do if we had time for that is make a catio, but we're going to put this together. I love these projects. A lot of people don't like working with their spouse, and they hate making these things. I love making these things. I love pulling out those instructions and reading every detail and pointing what to do as my laborer does it. So I'm pretty excited. Let's hope this comes out good and looks good.
Yup. All right, so we got a nice space we want to put it. Kristen found 2 trees and said I wanted to go right between these 2 trees for the eye feel of how it's going to go. And if we have to back a truck up to it, we can load it and unload it easily. So we found the spot. I got a little bit of grade work to do to make it level, because having a nice flat level surface here is going to be important. So I got to move a little bit of stuff, get that pick running, get that shovel running, get that rake running, and get it nice and smooth, and then we'll be able to start with the instructions.
So we went over all the pieces. We have all the pieces. Now it's time to make the bottom base to put the actual shed on. We're going to be using leftover 4x4s that we have that are too short for the fence. The next side is a bit taller than the first one, so we overbought those. So we're going to reuse them, and then we're going to put some plywood down on that, some thick 3/4 inch, I think, plywood, and then we're going to start building it. This is a way bigger project than I thought. I started looking at the instructions and I thought it was just put the floor together, put 4 walls up, and then your roof on top. But there's like 60 pieces just to the roof. So this might take more than just today. We got our platform done, our, what would you call this, Matt?
Subfloor.
Our subfloor done. It's finally time to start getting the bottom floor of the shed going and moving up through there. Let's see how much we can get done before it gets dark. You got any last words to say?
Any last words? Hell no. Let's go. So far, so good.
I feel like our teamwork's been there. We haven't cussed each other out yet.
We never cussed each other out before.
Yeah, right. It's going well though. Everything's going smoothly. We have all the pieces so far. So far I'm rating this shed a 90 so far.
It's getting kind of dark out here.
Yeah, we might have to keep working in the dark, but our camera...
Just keep dying. I thought I had the thing going, but I did not have it charging. So we weren't powering up. But I feel like we gotta feed the animals. Chickens are getting restless and the cats are getting crazy too.
Yeah, we might have to pick up tomorrow maybe, or we can keep going tonight. But
let's pick up tomorrow, but let's get it early and let's hope it don't rain, because this will just fill up with water.
well, maybe we'll finish it tonight, but it's going to be dark, so we'll show you tomorrow morning if we are done. So the next morning, we're gonna whip this shed into place because we need to get it done so we can get this video edited for you guys this Sunday, else you're not gonna get a video. So the instructions say we're on step 40 and there's 89 steps, so I feel like we're not even halfway, but Matt told me the other steps are easier once we got this up. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be 10 steps to put on the doorknob at least. But we would have been done by now, but we had Crash out yesterday. When we work down here in the valley, I like to have all the animals loose so I can see how they...
Is this one of those excuses that you have ready?
Yeah, ready-made excuse, because Crash kept being mischievous and he kept like trying to eat the tape and eat the cardboard boxes, and Kristen actually had to fight with him one time. They were throwing down. So I had to keep Crash up. So now that Crash is up and away, he's getting some food. I think we're going to be able to knock this out pretty quickly. I think we'll be done in 1 hour and 15 minutes. Start the timer.
Alright guys, it's time to put on the doors. Let me tell you, the roof was not very easy. I just got done telling you guys how easy this was going so well. We struggled a little bit with the roof. But what you got anything to say?
No, now that there's a beautiful breeze today, but in this shed there ain't no breeze. We're sweating in the hot box today.
So we're almost there. Just got to put the doors on and the windows and we should be done. It should slide right into place. If we built this door right. Do you want me to hold it? Woo! I feel good. Oh boy, there's no problems with our door frame. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right guys, it's completed. It's awesome. It's big. And I believe with a little bit of landscaping on the outside, this thing is gonna really look great. Excellent. What do you think?
I think it's gonna look really good too. And also it has behind the shed where I can put ladders and old wood that hasn't been used yet, so that it doesn't have to be such an eyesore. So yeah, it's a good looking shed. Kristen still got some organization to put me through. I think she got a tool chest. And she got another like wire rack that we still have to get in there and get put together. But all in all, you know, she's gonna get me right. She's hell bent for leather to say we're gonna get you organized.
So leave your favorite shed accessories down in the comments because I want to check some out. Organization ideas. So thanks for watching this week. We're trying to close up some ends. We have a few more ends we're gonna have to close up probably the next episode. So stay tuned. We got a lot coming. Our land is starting to change. We went from living up there to living down here. so much to come. I'm excited. This journey's been really crazy and I've been enjoying every minute of it. I've been enjoying it more than I thought I was from coming from the boat. So
yeah, now that we have the road in, it feels a lot more like home, like we're developing something here. And you know, it's getting a lot better. The animals seem a million times happier down here. The interaction with that was the main catalyst to coming a little bit further into the land, was because it gets me away from dogs that are always up and down that road. It gets me away from obviously cars, and then on the other side I have the river, which is a bit of a border. There are some dogs that will come over that river, but you know, they gonna get the wrong end of an axe handle one of these days if they come too close to my chickadees. But yeah, so super happy. The animals can just kind of run free as long as I'm down here and can keep an eye on them. The hawks have been staying away, so I'm loving life. David still lives up there for now, acclimating with his new baby dolls. But yeah, down here is better. Can't wait to get a few more things tightened up down here and then start building on the big project, the house.
yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out our Patreon if you want to see real-time updates, and we'll see you next episode. Bye.